Hello everyone, it's Tammy Wogenbush with Card Designs by Tammy, and today we are going to be making a fun card and looking at this wonderfully cute stamp set, Cactus Cuties. It is in the new mini cat. Well, it's not new anymore. I guess it is April. It's been out since January. But the current mini catalog that goes through June, and it is on page 66 here. And so it includes a stamp set and, well, the bundle includes a stamp set and a punch, and is $31.50 with the bundle discount of 10% off. And I guess we're going to be making a variation of this card today. I didn't even realize that, but that's kind of what we're going to be making today. But like I said, this comes with a fun punch that lets you build different sorts of cacti, and has some cute sentiments, just a note and hello. I love those. They're just nice and generic, and then hope your day is on point as well. One thing that is nice about this, again, it does come with a punch that will punch out this pot, this cactus, this little accent cactus, and this flower. But I will say I have cut out these three as well and fussy cut them, and they cut very easily. So even though you only have the one punch for the pot, these two pots cut out really easily. I haven't tried to cut this one out, but this one I did in a card and it cut out really easy. So really nice. And I love punches. I love dies too, but punches are just so much easier and portable. So that's what we're going to be using today. And I always like to give you a couple other ideas. So this is a different card that I made, and you can see where I punched out all of these elements. And that's the fun thing about these, is you can just build the cactus any way that you want. And so it's really, really fun. And this is another one I made where you can see where I cut out this pot and I cut out this cactus, and again, just works really well. And this is a retired, it's I think old world paper. I think I actually got it in the clearance section, but I didn't see it when I looked the other day. So it is a retired embossing folder, but you could use any embossing folder. I just wanted to give it a little bit of an accent there. And again, just kind of able to build up that cactus how you want on the inside. So those are a couple other fun cards. This is what we're going to be making today. And this card uses Cinnamon Cider and Bumblebee, Just Jade, and Magenta Madness. So I'm really trying to bring in the in colors that are retiring soon. We do have a new annual catalog, and I'm adjusting here, so that will be coming out in May 3rd. And so several items from our old catalog are retiring, including our in colors. So we have a bunch of new in colors coming in. So yeah, so this is what we're going to be making today. Although I am going to change it a little bit. I'm going to punch out and do a little bit of combination of, have a little bit more of the cactus in dies. So like I said, we are using cinnamon cider, and so I cut this one. This is card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. And then I have a piece of the Bumblebee that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I embossed this using the Gingham embossing folder, which is in the current mini catalog. And actually will be going into the annual catalog. I was excited because I really this is just such a nice neutral embossing, and I haven't used a lot of embossing, but I really have been trying to lately, because it does add, you can use, don't have to use designer series paper, you can use just a plain color, and then embossing it though gives it that interest, so it's not just plain. So yeah, so that is the bumblebee. And then I also, for the inside, have also a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, just basic white. And then I have pre-cut some things. So I have cut this circle and the scallop background. And I used the Layering Circles dies. And I believe it's the second to largest one. So I used this one and then this one here, which I think the way that they all kind of rotate back and forth, I think this one's the largest. So I'm pretty sure this is the second largest set there. And so I pre-cut out this. And so let's get to stamping and cutting. Actually, before I do that, I am going to adhere this to the card front so I don't have to worry about losing it or misplacing it before I start my stamping and cutting. So I like to have some things cut beforehand, but I do want to show you some tricks with the punch, so I wanted to wait and do the bulk of that. And I got glue on my finger already that's sticking to things. This early in the video is not a good sign. Okay, so we'll put that off to the side, and let's get to stamping and punching out the elements of the card. So the inks I'm using Cinnamon Cider, Magenta Madness, Just Jade, and let me get my Bumblebee. I am using Bumblebee as well. So using all of those, and let me find my scrap pieces of paper. So I have already stamped and punched out this little piece here for the, I did 4 of them. I don't think I'm going to use 4 of them, but that will be for the accent pieces. And so what you want to do when you're using punches that have like multiple punches is when you stamp on the paper, you do have to be careful of how you're going to line it up. And so I know if I turn it over and put this, if I want to punch out the pot, that the paper has to go in like this. So I want to kind of stamp it right on this side of the paper with the top up there. So I'm going to do that in Cinnamon Cider. So I'll show you what I mean here. And these are clear polymer. And so I am going to put my foam underneath here to help it give a clean, crisp image. And it really does. If you have a photopolymer that has a larger image that stamps, you really do want to use the foam pad. It will give it a much more even stamped image, and you don't have to worry about part of it not coming up. It really does make a big difference. So there. And while I have this all out, I am going to stamp the inside of my card because I know I'm going to do this base on the inside of my card and on the envelope. So I do not like naked insides or naked envelopes. Again, I just like that, you know, kind of stationary look, and stamping on the envelope and the inside really help with that a lot. Okay, so there's that piece, and I am going to cut this out before I stamp the other, just because some of it might get cut off with the other stamps. So I'm kind of doing it off the side here because little pieces tend to fly everywhere. All right, let me get those out of the way. And then I am going to do the cactus. And you will see the orientation of the cactus is I put the paper in like this. So I'm going to want the cactus with the flat side down there. And I think I am done with the cinnamon cider. And the cactus is going to be in just jade. And again, give it a nice even press. And while we have it out, you know, I think I'm going to do something different on the inside today. I'm going to use the other cactus on the inside and on the outside. And oh, I got ink on my fingers and ink on my envelope already. Goodness, I told you, glue on my fingers already is not a good sign. Let's see. So let's go ahead and punch this guy out. And so again, I just line it up in there, start to push it down till it kind of holds it in place. And then I turn it upside down so that all the little excess pieces fly off. Okay, and so that is all of the punching I'm going to do. But I am going to fussy cut this pot. And so I'm going to be using Bumblebee. And again, I'm just using my scrap piece of paper because I'm just going to fussy cut it out. And that is all the Bumblebee I'm going to use. So I am going to get that out of the way. I have my Just Jade open, which sometimes I don't like leaving inks open because I tend to get ink everywhere then. But okay, so I am just going to take this and cut it out. And again, since there's this one in particular, it's just really easy to cut. I can leave it off to the side there just so that I can get a better angle. And one tip for cutting is to move the paper and not your scissors when you do have little pieces to do and corners to go around and different things. Okay, and there we go. And I think I'm just double checking. Yep, I think that's it for the cutting out. So now I get to kind of start putting things together. And let's see here how I'm going to do this, because I am going to stamp part of it. So I kind of want to get things lined up so I kind of figure out where I am going to stamp. And where I'm not. So So I know I'm going to want to stamp this guy right over here. So I'm going to move that. And make sure that I have room. Okay. So I'm going to stamp him. And while I have this out, this is what I'm going to use on here. And in here. There. Again, while I have something out, I like to get it all inked up and used right away. And I think I am done with the Just Jade then. So I'm going to put that away so I don't have to worry again about getting inky fingers, which I already do. So let me see how I want to put this and how I want to stamp. There. So I'm going to want this little flower right up in that corner. So let me get out my Magenta Madness. Ink it up. And forgive my head. And I was just trying to figure out if I wanted another one. I really do. So let me get another one right about here. There we go. All right. So now let's try to put all this together. Definitely need some dimensionals, and I think I'm done with stamping with the larger images. So let me get my mini dimensionals. And I'm trying to be cautious about where, you know, if it's going to hang off a little bit. So where I'm going to be putting my dimensionals. Oh, come on. And then this one. Again, just trying to figure out where it's all going to end up on the paper. Okay. And then these all just get one little dimensional. So we'll see if I like this, having a little bit more variability in the dimension than my sample. Because like I said, for my sample, I just had the pots that were on dimensionals, and then I stamped everything else directly on the paper. But just wanted to do something a little bit different. Oops. Oh, came off. Okay. So let me see. Definitely this one can go on. Because we already have that there. And I think I'm actually going to start at the top. Although, yep, that's right. Oh. Yeah, let's see here. This is not how I put it together before. Oh, shoot. Maybe I shouldn't have started at the top. Oh, well. Let's see. Because I wanted this one coming out of here as well. Okay. Again, sometimes lining things up can be difficult. And if you have a poor memory like me, then it's like, now how did I do that again? I don't remember. But that's okay. I think the advantage of this, no two things alike, and I think regardless of kind of how you do it, it's gonna be cute. Because the stamp set is just so cute. There we go. Okay. And let me make sure that that is... Oh, perfect. There we go. So that looks cute. I like that. And I do like having that added dimension with some of it. There. With some of it stamped on and some of it up. It just gives it a nice variety. Okay. So then I just get to take this and glue it to... So that honestly was the most time-intensive part of this entire card. Otherwise, it goes together pretty quickly. Let's throw this on here. And it goes this way. And let me get it all lined up there. Press it down good. Okay, so then we have this. And I do have one more thing to stamp. I have to stamp the sentiment. And so I just have, and I believe this is a 1/4 inch strip. Could be 1/2 inch, but let me double check. Nope, this is a 1/2 inch, sorry. So this is just a 1/2 inch strip of paper. And honestly, this is left over because I always use white cards for my inside that are 4 by 5 1/4. So I will often just grab several sheets of paper and do them at once. And then I'm left with a 1/2 inch strip when I do that. And so I use those. I save a lot of them and use them for my sentiments. And it works really just perfectly for this one. So I am going to use cinnamon cider for the sentiment. And let's... I'm going to get it off the paper. It's easier for me to see to center where the white is when it's not on a white background. There we go. Okay. Yep. And so I'm just going to be really easy and cut this at an angle. And pop it up with some dimensionals. There we go. Perfect. And then I will put this on, and then I have a little bow I'm going to tie. There we go. Oops, I need to glue this down. Almost forgot to totally glue this down to the card. So since this already has dimensionals on it, I'm not going to adhere this with dimensionals. I could have, but it's just easier to glue it down, especially since it already has the dimensionals on it. So I'm going to put it kind of up in that corner. There we go. Now I have, and I believe that this is also retired, but you could easily, so this is a cinnamon cider ribbon. And again, it is retired. I don't think we have a cinnamon cider ribbon in the actual catalog, but you could easily use like just a white. Again, I just have this stuff that I want to use up. This is the crinkled seam binding ribbon that I also believe is going to be in the new catalog, so this is going to carry over. So I could easily do a bow with that, and it would look very cute as well. But I am going to use this cinnamon cider just because I do need to use it up. Oops, if I can do a bow today. My goodness. Okay, come on. You know, sometimes I do bows very well. Sometimes I'm bow challenged. Today, I think I'm going to be a little bow challenged. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe a third time's a charm? I wonder if I should cut this part out of the video. Probably not. People need to see that, you know what, demonstrators mess up all the time too. There we go. Okay, let me adjust this. Make sure I like the way it looks. Let's get that down a little bit. And I'm going to cut that. And then I will just put the bow right there. Again, I wanted something else. I was like, okay, it needs something else. And so I decided that just putting a little bow to kind of frame that sentiment worked very well. And I'm actually going to make it just a bit smaller. I think it'll fit a little bit better if it's a little bit smaller. There, and okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to put a glue dot on it. And we're good to go. Okay, there. See, it just gives a little something right in that area. And bows are always nice. And so the last finishing touch, I am going to use polished dots, which are in the mini catalog. These are some, I think the mini catalog, they're new embellishments. And they're just very nice and neutral. These are supposedly very vanilla, but they look clear. So that is what I'm going to use. Just to kind of put on here, and yeah, I want one right down there. Always like my bling. Always gotta have bling, right? So there we go. Oops, I gotta put this on the inside. So almost done. Sorry. Made sure to stamp it, but we actually gotta put it on the inside if we want to use it. So this is always the fun thing with cards is, you know, no two are alike. So, you know, even like with this, I'm a lot of my videos, I make the template and then, you know, as I'm doing it, you change it up a little bit and decide to do something a little bit different, but that's what makes cards unique, and it's kind of the fun thing about crafting and creating. You're just gonna kind of do what you want. So there we go. So there is this card, and I admittedly like this card much better. I really like, you know, even though I have some stamped images, I do like having those popped up a little bit. So that's the nice thing about that punch, is it just makes it so easy to add those elements to the cards. And again, it just gives it that fun dimension. So here are all the cards that I've made with the Cactus Cuties stamp set or bundle. So again, just a really fun, light cards that you can make. And this paper here is from the Artfully Composed designer series paper. So again, you can kind of create and mix and match what you want. The punches make it nice to cut out some of the elements, but then a lot of the other pieces just cut out real easy and let you give that dimension. But if you don't like to fussy cut, it still gives you beautiful stamped images there. And again, it's just fun because you can just create and build whatever kind of cactus you want. So I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this stamp set. If you need anything, my contact information will be below. It'll have my Stampin' Up! Website as well as my blog, where you can see more information about this card and other cards. And please subscribe and hit that like button, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks very much.